Well, what's going on, guys? This is Philip Sessions with the Healthy Living Sessions podcast, coming at you today to talk about working on yourself. Now, most of us don't work on ourselves. We see all those people that are, super wealthy, super famous, stuff like that. They seem to always have the time to work on themselves, where those of us that are not fortunate enough to have either the jobs that we truly love or jobs that make us enough money that allow us to be able to find that time or be able to have help to be able to do the things that help us work on ourselves or give us the ability to buy, you know, equipment, whatever, training programs, stuff like that helps us to be able to work on ourselves because we have that money, you know, it makes it more difficult. And while this, may be common that a lot of us don't have that capability to be able to buy those programs or have that time to be able to work on ourselves, we can't allow that to hold us back. Working on ourselves gives us so many things. A few that come to mind are confidence, purpose, happiness, goals, of course. That's why we're probably working on ourselves. We have some kind of goals, one goal, or we have several goals. And, of course, there's just many other things. And we most likely don't get from our everyday job. We don't find that purpose. We don't find that confidence from our everyday job. And that's why you need to work on yourself, because that daily grind there at work, and really it's kind of like a grind. You think of a coffee grinder. First it starts out with a coffee bean. It's a solid piece, but as it stays in the grinder longer and longer, it gets refined more and more and becomes just powder. And that's kind of what happens with us with our jobs. If we just stay in that job and just keep doing that same thing, and we never work on ourselves, we never do anything outside of work, basically just go to work and go home, we're gonna turn into that coffee ground as well. We're gonna be nothing more than powder. We're no longer gonna be that solid substance. And so that's why you need to work on yourself. Working on yourself helps you out so much, and it'll actually help out your performance at work as long as you're still getting the adequate amount of sleep. Now, that may be the problem for some people. They feel like they can't work on it. Maybe you're obsessive compulsive. You feel like you have to work on it for pretty much just all out, all in or all out. And I kind of work that way. I'm either all in or all out, but we can't do that. We just have to spend a couple hours, and you can be all in just for 30 minutes, for 1 hour. Hopefully you can stretch it out to 2 or 3 hours. But I know there's life. A lot of people have spouses, significant other, kids, stuff like that. There's other obligations you have in life outside of work. I totally get that, but you need to dedicate just a little bit of time. It's just like it's a budget of time. That's really what it is. Just like hopefully you have a budget for your money, you should also have a budget for time. And so you allocate some of that time. Maybe you have to wake up an extra 30 minutes or an hour early to really squeeze in that time before your kids get up, before your spouse gets up, something like that. Or, wait till your kids go to bed and you spend 30 minutes to an hour working on you or working with your spouse on stuff. Maybe that's the way to do it. There's all sorts of ways to be able to work on yourself. You just have to find that time. You have to go ahead and dedicate that time. Eric Thomas has this amazing quote, so powerful, and it's when you want to succeed as you want to breathe, then you'll be successful. And he says it way better and way more powerful than I say it. But I mean, you think about that. You have to breathe, obviously, in order to live. And when you finally get to that point where you want to work on yourself so bad, it's just as much as you need to breathe, that's when you will succeed at working on yourself. And until then, until you have that desire to actually work on yourself, you're never going to fully work on yourself. You're always going to make up some kind of excuse to why you can't do it. Oh, today was a long day. too tired, I just need to relax. And that is the difference between the ultra successful and those who are in the middle and lower class. The ultra successful say, this is where I'm going to make it. This is what separates me from the rest. You know, we just got to the end of the year, and all the successful people talk about how that's usually when people slow down, but they ramp up. They pick up those clients that are looking for something, yet these companies slow down at the end of the year because all their employees want to take vacations and stuff. And I'm not saying that's bad. I'm just saying that that's what these successful people do. They ramp up when others slow down because they want to succeed. They want to improve on themselves. They want to improve on their business. So we have to keep going for it. You have to make that time. You have to make that sacrifice. It is a sacrifice. There's no question about it. When you are working 8, 10, 12 hours a day and you're trying to spend 30 minutes to an hour on yourself before you go spend it on your family, whatever, any kind of relationship, any friends, stuff like that, and you sacrifice that time to work on yourself rather than just enjoying yourself, that is a sacrifice. There's no way around it. So I'm going to let you know right now, it is a sacrifice. But you have to decide, do you want it bad enough that it's like breathing? You need to breathe to live. Do you need to work on yourself so bad that if you don't work on yourself, it's like you're not living? And I promise you, I've been there. There's so many days where I just want to sit down and watch some Netflix or Hulu, or maybe just listen to some music, and I make sure I'm doing something. I might jump on Instagram and do a little story real quick, kind of help me out. I actually learned that from Andy Dane Carter. Just pop on there, just start saying how you're in a slump or something. You just don't feel like doing anything, and it's funny. You kind of saying that out loud ends up making you accountable, and you're like, man, I can't let these people down. These people follow me for a reason. My friends want to see me do things. Whoever it is, maybe you don't have that big following yet, but you don't want to let those people down. You want to show them that you're actively working on yourself. So by just proclaiming that out loud, actually in turn makes you want to do more. Well, guys, with this, working on yourself outside of work, I'm definitely not suggesting that you quit your job or take away from the work you're doing during the day while you're at work. I'm only saying that you need to dedicate some time to working on the things you want to do in your life. So yes, you might still need that job. You might not have the savings to just quit and start something up on your own full time. So you're going to need that job. You need to stay there. You need to be all in when you're there at your job. Be all in when you work on yourself. Be all in when you're with friends, family, significant other, kids, whatever it is. Be all in everywhere you're at. And I guarantee being all in is going to make you so much more happy, so much more successful, and you'll notice a difference in your life when you're all in wherever you're at. I know for me personally, it becomes a struggle when I'm sitting there trying to do 3 things at once. I end up messing up, and it takes me so much longer to do it rather than say, I'm with a friend. Hold on, I need to send this text out real quick, whatever. I need to finish this conversation over here, and then I can put all my attention on you. Because the whole time I'm like, man, I really need to get back to them. I need to tell them something. And that, or I'm sitting there while I'm trying to hang out with my friend. I'm trying to write this other person back. And then I end up messing up the whole message or don't get my point across what I needed to say, and it just seems like I wasn't paying attention to them. So whatever you do, make sure you do it 100%. And I especially say you need to do that when you're working on yourself, because you are the most important thing in your life. You and God are the most important things in your life. So if you're not working on yourself, nobody else is doing it for you. So make sure you're doing that every day. Or, if you feel like that's just too much to do it every day, do it once a week. 30 minutes is not a long time. I guarantee you could cut out 30 minutes of Facebook or Instagram or YouTube or Netflix. There's so many things where you cut 30 minutes out. Don't act like you don't have any time. I know you do. So find 30 minutes out of that busy schedule you have and work on yourself. It can be something as simple as reading a nonfiction book. Not a fiction book, but a nonfiction book. Something that is going to help you do something better. I mean, you could even do YouTube or, even a podcast. I mean, just do something that's helping you learn something that you want to do. Something that's going to help better yourself. If that's the way it's got to be for you to start, I suggest doing that. So, guys, I hope this message was helpful for you. I hope you maybe realize that you're not working on yourself the way you should. I know, even myself included, we all are on social media way too much for other purposes besides trying to promote our business or whatever. We're just on there surfing the web, so to say. We're surfing social media, and we could take some of that time away to work on ourselves. So guys, I hope this message really impacted you today. Hopefully it calls you to action to do something and work on yourself, I hope. And guys, go ahead and like this, give me a review, a rating, whatever you think, 1 to 5. So be honest with your rating there so I know how I need to improve here. And this is Philip Sessions with the Healthy Living Sessions podcast. I hope y'all have a blessed day.